Hello, everybody. My name is Deb Coviello, and I work on the Communications Committee for the USWCA, and I have the honor of interviewing some outstanding women with the USWCA. And today my guest is Jennifer Stannard. Welcome to the conversation, Jennifer.
Thank you, Deborah. It's great to be here chatting with you.
Yeah, I'm excited. I have seen you at so many of these events in person, and I've had the pleasure of having some just informal chat with you. I sincerely appreciate all that you've done for the USWCA. But for those of us who may not know you, could you just tell us a little bit about yourself personally, as well as your history in curling and some of the work that you've done for USWCA, please?
Certainly. I am coming up on 30 years of curling and didn't know anything about it until I was introduced by a friend from church who was Canadian, brought me to an open house with my son. And I was a single mom at that point, and we just loved it. We were hooked right from the start. So that was just about 30 years ago, and I've had a great time ever since. I became involved in the organization when I was at the Ardsley Curling Club. I come from the Nutmeg Curling Club in Bridgeport, and we lost our ice, and Ardsley provided a home away from home, and over we went to curl there. So I curled there. They needed a representative to the USWCA and talked to me about it. And I was very positive about the organization. I had gone to a couple of the national bonspiels and knew past presidents. So I did. And then, things just progressed. And I became on a subcommittee that brought in the 5 and under open, which we offer, as you know, across the country for men and women. And then vice president up to president. Then I served as the USWC liaison to the USCA. And while at the USCA, I was asked to be the one of our 4 delegates to the World Curling Federation. So I'm involved in that. So I would say the majority of my life is curling. I love everything about it. I love it from the grassroots. I've coached juniors, or not really coached juniors. I ran the junior program, been active in the 5 and unders, and have curled with some of our Olympians just as friends on the ice. So I just love everything about the sport.
All right, that's a beautiful story. And I did not know a lot of those things about you. And it's just amazing. And I just sincerely appreciate, as a newcomer to the USWCA representing the Cincinnati Curling Club, when I come to these meetings twice a year, it's not just social, though social is so important, but what I see is a well-oiled machine. We have structure, we have process, we have goals and objectives. When I see the leadership, the subcommittees, and then the higher committees, and then the executive leadership committees, and that's us coming together twice a year to be able to support and enrich the direction of women in youth curling. It's an amazing process, the structure that our organization has. And I don't know what you think about it, but as an outsider, a newcomer coming in, it's really a good program. It's a really great organization.
I would agree with you. And I think what's even more amazing is that we are all volunteers. There's no paid staff. And the only income that we get is from the dues of our members and member clubs. And then whatever USWCA merchandise people buy from our promotions committee. So, and as you can see, I'm wearing my USWCA.
I know, it looks great.
So we've got great things to do that for curling, but that's the only income that we have, and yet we're able to accomplish so much.
Yeah, it's truly amazing, and just thank you. But if I could just ask you a question, we didn't plan for this one. I mean, you seem excited, exuberant. You are grateful for being part of the organization, but is there a moment or two that, I don't know, just really hit home for you by being associated with this organization? Any memory that comes to you?
I think it was when it would be tied to the USWCA circuit, which I started that. I modeled it after an event that the GNCC men had come up with. Theirs only lasted a few years, but the concept was great. And so I think it was going to one of the early ones of that and seeing the excitement as women started understanding that they could compete, they could be competitive in events, even if they were only able to go to 2 or 3 bonspiels a year. So seeing that kind of that concept come to fruition was really very exciting for me. And
you know, that's just a huge confidence builder for women as well. Again, yes, it's social, yes, it's a sport, but then also to be able to participate and maybe even excel in the athletic area is truly beautiful. So thank you for all of that. But I'd love to take it in another direction. So I'm forward thinking and forward looking. We know what 2020 was for us as a curling organization, but I would love to know your thoughts for us as we think about 2021, building community for women and youth. What are in your sights, or what do you want to see happen for the organization in 2021?
well, as you say, 2020 and was just not what anyone expected or could have contemplated.
Right.
And so all been, for the majority of us, somewhat huddled. I really, those clubs that have been able to be open and people that have been able to curl, I'm so jealous of them. But I think, you know, it's springtime, the vaccine is getting out there, things are looking positive, and hopefully the majority of us, if not all, will be able to be back on the ice at some point in 2021. And so, you know, you've seen juniors, and the juniors are working so hard. They've got training programs that they're doing at home, and the USCA has gotten that information out to them. The women's group that's been very active on Facebook and putting interviews and information out there. It's all very positive. And so I hope if we can focus on that, and in that little time between now and then, to keep connected socially. It's, you know, reach out and give a call. I have friends from doing this for so long all across the country. And so, you know, I'll just reach out and say, how are you doing? And we'll chat. Our women's organization at Nutmeg Curling Club, we had a women's meeting, and it was a Zoom meeting. And then we had different rooms to break out into and chat, and also played a couple games. And that was very successful because so many of the women said, I forgot how much I missed just talking with all the other curlers. And I know other clubs have been doing things. There have been virtual bonspiels, and they've had strategy sessions and things. And Zoom is a great way for that. But a big part of curling is that social concept and the connection that we all have. You know, we're brother curlers, women, sister curlers, and we want to keep that bond going right through into when we're all on the ice again.
You know, Jennifer, what I'm feeling, you know, I'm smiling because you're just exuding like just so much positivity and upbeatness, because we need that. We absolutely need that. Again, we've got a great foundation, a great organization, and just being able to see ourselves in the future. And your suggestion about just have a virtual meetup, you know, Zoom is what we have right now until we can come together in sports. So I'm sure if somebody wanted to reach out to you to learn more about your event, would that be okay if our viewers did that and just connected with you?
Oh, certainly. I would love that. I'm on Facebook. It's Jennifer Stannard. I think that I'm the only US Jennifer Stannard anyway on. So would love to chat with people, and my email, Jennifer Stannard. It's 2 N's. There's no D. Thank you, Mark Zakin. Just a little shout out at live.com. So happy to chat, connect with people about any aspect of curling. But you're right, Deborah. We have to focus on the positive, because the negative stuff is there. There's nothing that you or I can personally do about that,
Right.
but certainly push forward with a positive message because curling is a positive sport.
I couldn't agree with you more. And, we're one of the fortunate clubs that have been able to have a protocol that has kept us safe, and we're open, and people are just hungry to be together, even if we can't stick around in Broomstack, but just the sport of it and just being out there and being in the presence of community is just so powerful for the soul. And USWCA has been one of those strong promoters of community.
Yes, yes.
Before we bring this to a close, Jennifer, if we've missed anything, any last closing thoughts? Because I just first want to thank you for being an amazing supporter of the organization and for having done so much, both USWCA as well as USCA. Any last thoughts for people that are watching this?
Yeah, I would say to everybody, let's hit the ground running. When we can get out and go to other clubs, bonspiels, to support them, because there are a number of clubs who this has hit financially hard. So help your 5 and under curlers get back into the swing of things. Go to bonspiels. Women do the USWCA circuit because that's a lot of fun. Just get out there and let's support each other because that's what we're all about.
All right, beautiful. Jennifer, thank you so much for being an amazing guest and an amazing contributor, volunteer, and person in the USWCA. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I've enjoyed it.